Alrighty, so part one was the concept and getting the build set up, getting all of our little abilities together. Part two is actually refining and getting those gear and stats in line so that everything that we had thought up we were happy with, such as the damage and the defense and healing of the build. And now, probably, arguably the most important part when it comes to buildcraft is actually practicing your build and figuring out and learning how to play it. I've hit on this point quite a bit, especially when the game launched, but New World is a bit of a different MMO when compared to others. Don't get me wrong, your build and your gear definitely matters 100%. You can't just kind of throw on whatever and expect to just outplay everybody in PvP. Your gear definitely plays a role, but at the same time, you could have the best build in the world, all best in slot, 625, and if you don't know how to play it correctly, if you don't practice in PvP and get little things down, then the gear that you're wearing doesn't matter. So that's kind of why I say that this is probably the most important part. But yeah, we're now at that stage where I want to practice and refine those combos. So we're going to be taking a look at quite a few fights today at me just doing that. We have a first little fight here on Sun with a couple of enemies. And one of the things I found that I need to do a lot is stay on my feet and stay dodging with this build. You see, we get one of the opponents into a vault kick there and get him a little bit peppered up. I don't really go for the full combo as we have quite a few enemies around, but we just do a good job of evading, getting a couple of heals there from our dodge, and then we're able to finish him off. Turn, get the skewer onto the enemy who behind us and get a large chunk of damage into him, and then we get a little bit of help there to finish off. But yeah, that's going to be the really big thing about this build, as we get a nice Void Scream there into a stun and just blow up that bowman there who was a little bit lower on con and resilience. But yeah, that is going to be the real thing about this build I've noticed, is staying on your feet, because you get quite a bit of benefit from rolling. Obviously you avoid damage, which would seem obvious, but it's just the healing. That's where a bulk of our healing on the build is actually going to come from, not actually from our Void Gauntlet. But yeah, that's going to be the thing that I'm trying to practice the most, getting in rhythm of the dodges. As you see, we're kind of getting pecked down by somebody in the back the entire time while we're attacking this one bow player there. But as I've mentioned, being lower on health is not too fearful of a place for us to be in. As you see, we kind of regen pretty much back to half there after dodging a few shots. And then we're going to go right in on him. We land the skewer, getting the bleed and the weaken. It doesn't take the sweep, being that he does have the berserker buff, which prevents him from being CC'd, but that was the really big point of the last part of the video, or the part of the series, was getting our damage to a point to where we didn't need to rely on getting people into full combos to kill them. So you see there, without even really needing to stun him once, we can kind of just get our skewer, get our light attacks in, and we're able to finish him off there. That's one of the other things I've noticed as well. From when I first initially made this build to now, there's a couple of things that go into making the combo a little bit harder to land. And there's kind of two big offenders there. I already mentioned that you can kind of dodge roll while you're rooted now. But Entomb and Parry on the rapier are two things that kind of throw a wrench into our combo. So we have a couple of fights going over opponents that are using those, and I'm going to kind of go over my mindset as to what I'm thinking when that is present in the fight. So when it comes to fighting either a mage that has an ice gauntlet or a rapier, once we get somebody into that full blender, the full combo there where we vault kick them into the root and then try to go for the sweep, in the root is when people will try to use either Entomb or Parry. So I find you have to pressure them and try to get those abilities out first. We go for the root there, and I try to go for the sweep just to get some damage him and force some pressure onto him. But we get taken quite low there as we get rooted by the other player. So as I mentioned, just staying on our feet there, we kind of move back to our Oblivion to get some stam. The second that I see an opening there, we get that sweep in there, and we get a nice sweep and a couple of attacks, and you see we just barely finish him off with that tick of the bleed there as he burnouts away, and we finish the kill off there. But you're gonna see here what I meant by the combo being avoided. So we jump onto this mage, we land the vault kick, go for the combo. Is right there is when generally they'll either entomb or go for parry. Being that we're in a 1v1 right now, I can just stay hyper aggressive, knowing that his entomb is down, and kind of go for the kill. But when you're fighting outnumbered, that really throws a wrench into finishing people off, and a lot of the times it allows them to kind of get back into fights and fully heal. So I found that you really want to try to apply pressure outside of your stuns and try to bait out those abilities before you go for the full combo. We do have a rapier in this fight here, so you're going to see what I mean by pressuring them to kind of draw out those defensive abilities. But we're at the enemy spawn point here, and we have quite a few ranged opponents giving us pressure here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw away for a second here and buy myself a little bit of breathing room. Jump onto the rock and jump onto the spear player here. Avoid the perforate, but we do get hit by that javelin there. Do a good job of rolling and avoiding not only her sweep but landing our Volt Kick. We land the full combo into the root and Oblivion, and we're able to get a nice little finish there. And then we get jumped on by a Bruiser. And as I mentioned, hammers are a little bit slower than most melee weapons, so it's going to be a little bit easier to dodge those big stuns. And as long as we land the weaken from our skewer, we're not too afraid of his great axe damage. So doing just that, doing a really good job of avoiding all of his stuns and getting him into the blender every single time I have one of those abilities up. And now we are left to that rapier and bow player here. Immediately as I see that parry and I know he's going to go for it, we just go for the light attack into the roll. And being that I missed my Volt Kick, we can't really get him into the full combo there, as we just also got out of another fight. But we're able to get him quite low regardless, and just trying to chase him down and keep that pressure up. And again, waiting for that parry, drawing him out with a light attack, and just rolling to get that out of the way. And it's at this point when I want to try to go for that combo. Now, being that he is on a bow build, he's not going to make that easy for us, as he is quite evasive, but that's generally the idea you want to go for. We're taking a little bit of pressure as well from the AI there, but we do a really good job of timing that parry and landing that Volt Kick as soon as it's down, so he has no time to dodge, and we get a pretty nice kill there. We're going to go ahead and just keep going on a tear up here behind the enemy base. The build is, like I mentioned, in a really good spot. I'm really liking it now. I'm just kind of doing a little few tweaks here and there. But one thing I do want to mention, if you are interested in the build and do plan on playing it, one of the things I would say is to get your engineering to max if you don't have it maxed already. But right here, you see what I mean. We land the Volt Kicks, we're able to go for that sweep. That's the other thing about it as well. If you can land the Volt Kick on either a mage or a rapier player, you don't want to switch weapons and go for the root. You just want to go for that sweep. And we land the sweep to get some big damage onto him, and we're able to finish him off quite quickly there. But we're taking quite a bit of pressure as we take down that second bow player there. And we're going to end up getting stuck in a rock here as we take a lot of pressure. But a really nice little outnumbered fight there by the enemy base. Yeah, sorry, just to finish my thought there. That's generally how you want to think about the combo. If the enemy doesn't have a threat to break up your combo, mid-combo with the root, and really those only things are going to be Entomb or Parry, then you don't want to go for the full combo. What you want to do is just go for the sweep after the Volt Kick. But if they are pretty much any other build, you're free to just get them in the full blender and try to go for as much damage as you want there. But that's gonna be the idea of this video here. Once you get your idea for your build kind of set up, and you get all the little gear pieces and all your stats, everything to get it to where you want it, it's pretty crucial that you actually, you know, practice it in PvP. It's not enough to just put a build together that is, you know, good or best in slot or does a lot of damage or whatever it is. You have to actually put the time in to get familiar with the build. But we have a really crazy fight here on Sun with a healer, where you guys can get a pretty good idea of what the build looks like when we're able to kind of just go all out. If you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments as always. But thank you guys so much for watching the video, and have a great day.